Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play SaGa 2 Goddess of Destiny. Since Elodie used up most of the remaining uses of her cure spell last time around, I'm going to heal up the party using this potion. Using 1 on Elodie, 2 on Zenith, and 1 on Natsmer here. Additionally, I'm going to be changing Elodie's equipment, switching out this Psycho Dagger for the Sleep Tome we acquired. Might have to try that out at some point. But for now, we're going to continue exploring Kai's body. We have these 2 passages here leading from the upper body down into the lower body, which is separated into 2 sections, as we can see here, 1 for each leg, naturally enough. And if we follow these down, we should reach the last 2 of her extremities, each of which, as we've seen in the past, contain 1 relic. And once we've obtained all 5 of those, all 5 of those relics, we should be able to return to the head, where something new will be awaiting us behind that door. But right now, we're fighting some monsters. Looks like mostly ones we've seen before in the Giants world, actually. These are not enemies unique to this area. We have terrorists, rainfall slugs, and silvers, so I expect these guys to go down fairly painlessly, given that they're all enemies that we've seen before. Gonna use the rocket punch there, green dragon blade over here, and let's go. So I mentioned a while back that I wasn't going to be able to recognize a lot of the music in this game. I, like many people, have often played handheld games with the sound turned off, just because the situations in which I played those games have often not been conducive to me listening to the audio of the game. And so, unfortunately, I didn't remember when I started this Let's Play a lot of the music from the original game. So what I didn't realize was that all of the music in this game is rearranged from the original. Like, this entire soundtrack is, as far as I can tell, remixes. I played a little bit of Final Fantasy Legend 2 recently, and that was the main takeaway from playing it, was that, wow, like, all of this music was kept intact for this game, and it's really cool listening to it after playing this game and being reminded of the tracks from this game, just like how similar the music is. And so that's pretty cool. A lot of attention went into this remake in terms of pleasing the fans. Like, it amazes me because I wasn't aware that Final Fantasy Legend was really all that popular, or at least all that remembered 20 years later on. So maybe that's part of the reason that this game was not released outside of Japan, because the marketers of the game felt that it was too reliant on nostalgia that people over here just wouldn't have. But if that's the case, that's really disappointing, because I think anyone could appreciate this game. But I definitely appreciate it a lot more having played Final Fantasy Legend 2, especially after recently revisiting that game. Okay, so that was a bit of a devastating encounter, so I'm going to have to use a little bit more healing here. Unfortunately, that potion is entirely used up. We do have an elixir here, but I would rather preserve that if at all possible. Do we have potions equipped to people? We have a potion with 2 uses here on Zenith, and a high potion on Natsmer. Let's check out that high potion. How much does that restore? 175? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use 2 uses of the high potion, and then I'm going to use 1 use of Elodie's cure. I guess it would have been optimal to target the cure on Elodie, because her spirit stat is higher, she would be able to benefit more from it. Hopefully that won't come back to bite us. So for the rest of this dungeon, I need to be extremely careful about avoiding encounters, because my resources are running dry. So I see that shark swimming around up there. It must be a really dangerous situation to have a shark swimming around inside of you. Really unfortunate, but I'm afraid I can't help Kai with that particular problem at this time, because I have to watch my own back, so sorry, not going to be fighting that shark. So we're working our way through the foot here, and I see the relic at the end of the tunnel there. Now, I'm going to venture over to the other toes, just to be absolutely certain that there aren't any treasure chests or anything over there. My experience with this dungeon so far has been that there aren't other things to collect here, other than the relics at the end of each of the extremities. So, yep, and that seems to be the case here, but it doesn't hurt to check, unless I get into an encounter with 2 groups of enemies at once. Oh no, man. Okay, so we have a new enemy, the samurai, and there are a lot of them. 5 samurai, plus a rhinoceros, an apprentice, and a leucocyte. Whew, okay, so that flame from Elodie is going to be really important here. I'm going to... let's mix it up with a kick from Zenith on the rhinoceros, and a submachine gun over on the group of samurai, and then virtue on the apprentice, which is probably going to try to put someone to sleep right away. I hope that it doesn't work, because that's going to really hurt if it does. And it did. Alright, so Elodie's asleep, which means that she's going to be unable to use flame. She might be dead here anyway, and sure enough she is, so at least this sleep went on someone who was going down anyway, right? Okay, so Natsmer's submachine gun, not enough to take out those samurai, which makes me all the more sadder that Elodie wasn't able to get her flame off. Alright, so back around to Zenith's turn. I saw that the kick wasn't particularly effective, but I would like to continue working on the kick to make it a little bit better in the future, so I'm going to put that again on the Rhinoceros. Another submachine gun there, another green dragon blade here, so basically running back the last turn, except without Elodie this time around. Rhinoceros still standing, which is not unexpected. Oof, those samurai dealing like 70 damage at a time. Luckily, they're all gone now from the submachine gun, but we still got a Leucocyte and a Rhinoceros to tend with. And there's Limit Drive kicking in, so that'll improve our performance at least. Happy to see that coming into effect. Zenith is down though, so we're down to just Natsmer and Virtue once again. I feel that my wish of slightly more difficult encounters that I expressed not that long ago is coming true. I don't mind too much, happy to see it, but it might mean that we have to level our characters a little bit more before proceeding too much deeper into the game. Keep on fighting, guys. We've still just got a Rhinoceros left, and we've fought Rhinoceroses before. And Natsmer... Ooh, I was about to say Natsmer not going to make it to the end of this encounter, but she did. Alright, strength increase for Natsmer. A mere 1,000 Kiro and a longsword. Kind of an insulting result compared to some of the amounts of Kiro we've been getting from these encounters here. So, let's get... Oh, no, I didn't even see that guy because he was around the corner, and I didn't heal before this battle. And those are 3 Type 28s. I'm running away. I'm running away. This is, like, my only chance to survive. Run, 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 you guys. Yes, okay, I managed to escape. Let's see if I can get the relic without fighting anyone else. And, okay, so now that I've gotten this poison crystal here, I'm going to backtrack out of Kai's body and get some healing, so let's see if I'm capable of doing that without encountering any more enemies. I am going to play it smart and heal first, though, at least using the 2 cures left on Elodie. Since Elodie's been going down in most of these fights, I'm actually going to use 1 each on Zenith and Natsmer, but that's all for cure. And as you can see, when you deplete a spell, it's not like forgotten by the Esper. She still has it, she just won't be able to use it until I restore its uses at an inn. So I find these corridors actually a lot easier to avoid enemies in than like the heart and the foot, which are a little bit narrower, I guess. Are they actually narrower? I'm not sure. Maybe it's just my imagination that they're easier to encounter. At least these corridors are longer and more straightforward, if nothing else. Okay, looks like we managed to make it out, because this is Kai's head, which is where we entered the body in the first place. So, will this fairy heal us? I doubt she will. Okay, so I'm going to have to backtrack to Outset Town, I guess would be the closest inn. So, I'm going to go do that, and then I will be back here. See you then. And here we go, back into Kai's body, using the Become Small. I did backtrack to Outset Town, where I rested at the inn, and additionally I purchased 2 potions. So, if we get into this predicament of not having cures once again, I will have a little bit more healing to back myself up. And we've already been in that leg, so let's... Oops, that's the heart, not where I meant to go. So I need to find my way into the other leg, which is... These corridors are a little bit disorienting, but luckily the overhead map does not deceive me. I can go around this way to reach the other leg, where we should be receiving the 5th and final relic here in Kai's body. So now, let's travel down the lower half once again. I guess I have less incentive to avoid encounters now than I did, which is good, because this is a group of 3... Oh man, the encounters I have had here in this body have been the most threatening I have seen in this entire game, and they just keep coming. Okay, so Elodie, should she survive, will be casting Flame on everyone. Hopefully she does survive. Zenith, a little bit outmatched in encounters like this, unfortunately, being that he can only target 1 enemy at a time, though I'm going to be jamming the X button in this encounter if I see that icon appear. Alright, I'll put him on this group of... actually, I'm going to put him on the group of 3 terrorists. I'm going to put Natsmer on the group of 4. This submachine gun working overtime today. And Virtue on the silvers, I guess? Okay, so yeah, getting ready to jam the X button is... There! Hit it. There's the X button. Okay, combo, powering up Natsmer, pressing it again. X button, X button, X button. Pass that on to Virtue. Ether Flash. Sweet, okay. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but... because we used threads twice in a row, we got that Ether Flash ability, which let Virtue hit all of the enemies in that group, which is fantastic for us. So, whenever I get into trouble like this, you can expect me to be remembering that threads exist. Oh, and we get a limit drive, which means more opportunities for threads, I hope? Okay. Oh no, Zenith. Zenith actually going down before Elodie this time. Got shot in the back by one of those terrorists. What a jerk. Alright, well, Elodie not surviving until the end of the battle, which is too bad, but Natsumer and Virtue both still up. Natsumer seems to be pretty adept at dodging things. I wonder if that's the result of her high agility. And, okay, so still remaining 4 Rainfall Slugs here and 3 behind, plus 4 terrorists. Natsumer going to continue working on those terrorists, and I'll put Virtue on this group of Rainfall Slugs up here. Let's go. Getting ready to press X should the opportunity arise again, but it looks like Natsumer is dying here to this acid rain from the Rainfall Slug, which fortunately Virtue is immune to. I have really got to play it smarter about these encounters. Like, I felt like by avoiding those encounters I was doing the right thing, but all I did was cause more encounters to pile up at once, which was counterproductive. Alright, Virtue at 12 HP, and he has no way of healing himself, so I have no choice but to run away from this encounter and hope for the best. Alright, 0 damage from the Derringer, 0 damage from the kick, but those Rainfall Slugs are capable of dissolving him for like 60 HP, and there it is. I am defeated here in Kai's body by a bunch of slugs and terrorists. Nothing but a bunch of slugs and terrorists, but Odin doesn't mind whether it's Ashura or slugs. He's ready to restore me to the fight once again, as long as I promise to return the favor someday and fight him. So let's see if I even have a chance at winning this. I don't know that I do. Can you actually run away when you're surrounded like this? Okay, it looks like you can. I dropped some Kira, but that's fine. In some RPGs, if you're pincer attacked and you have enemies in front of you and behind you, you don't have the option of fleeing from that encounter, but this game does not follow that rule. Alright, now I'm fighting one enemy here, and literally one enemy, just a single influenza, so I'm happy about that. I even got the preemptive attack? How have I made it this far into the game, and this is the first time I've seen a preemptive attack? I was ready to declare those non-existent in this game, but here I got one. So I guess if you catch an enemy unaware, you get to attack first, so good news. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it in a more useful encounter than this one, because one hit takes down that influenza. Ooh, and very nice. We got some proficiency increases here. A taijutsu handling skill increase for Zenith. Very nice. And just a pittance of Kiro for our trouble. Avoiding these enemies now, though. Hopefully not gonna get tapped by a pair of them at once. And here we are, finally, in the last area of Kai's body, or the last of the extremities anyway, containing relics. We're in the left foot, looking for something shiny here. Last time it was up in one of the toes, so I can assume we're doing the same thing here. And maybe in this one, nope, do not see anything shiny there, so I can turn around. I've pretty much concluded that there are no treasures other than the relics here, so I just have to look for something bright and glowing. Got hit from behind by that coconut crab. Hopefully it's just crabs. Yep, just a group of 7 crabs, nothing to worry about here. It is a surprise attack though, because we got hit from behind. What are these game mechanics coming out of nowhere? Preemptive attacks, surprise attacks. How did I never see these until this point? Were those like locked for the first part of the game and they were only just introduced, or have I really been that lucky? Oh man, yet another encounter in which Elodie doesn't survive. I've really got to work on these characters of mine, getting them better equipped or something. You know what it is? I probably should have done more to equip my characters back in Giantstown, since there was that store that sold the Giants goods that I didn't bother saving up and buying anything at. I'm guessing that that's what it is. I didn't equip myself hardly at all when I was in Giantstown, instead spending all of my money on rocket punches. That may have been a bad idea. So, in fact, I have a bunch of money saved up right now, so I don't know what my problem is. Though, I guess to be fair, a lot of that money I've made here inside Kai's body. The enemies here have been very generous in giving me Kuro after they're defeated. But nonetheless, I seem to be plodding along pretty well, in spite of the fact that I'm losing a couple of characters every encounter. But just something to keep in mind, that I will have to improve my character's equipment at the first opportunity once I get out of this place. That's assuming, of course, that I'm able to beat the boss of this place. I'm beginning to worry that that might not be possible. I don't have Mask here to bail me out this time, after all. But let's stay optimistic. I think I can do it. Alright, here's a magic crystal, that's nice. So even if I wasn't able to equip my characters myself by buying things, at least I am finding relics that are improving the stats of my characters. It would be nice to obtain some actual equipment here in addition, but that doesn't appear to be how this one goes. That's okay though. Alright, so working our way back up the leg, back into Kai's body. We're moving from the foot at the bottom all the way to the top right now. Actually, wait. What was that? Oh, okay. There is actually one more section we haven't explored. because there's a door over here that I haven't been through yet. Okay, so it looks like we have 6 relics, not 5 to collect, because this is the stomach and intestines. And how could I forget the stomach and intestines? Like, look at the overhead map of this area, and this is definitely one of the cooler looking areas of Kai's body, and it was in the original too. But yeah, you can see I'm working my way here through the lower intestine, and then up through the upper intestine. We're just working our way backward through the digestive tract here. Okay, so we have a group of terrorists, it would appear. No, samurai. Okay, so I have encountered samurai once before, and they were fairly powerful, so let's see how I fare this time around. Slowly working through the uses of that submachine gun, though. Fortunately, I see that I have 20 uses of it left. It has been, like I said before, working overtime in these encounters. I keep fighting these big groups of enemies where I'm really happy to see that Elodie's not the only character I have who can consistently attack groups of enemies. So lots of wakizashis here, taking down my character's HP, but it looks like Elodie might actually survive to see the end of this one, depending on how effective this blizzard is. Yeah, okay, all 4 characters still alive at the end of an encounter that isn't a single opponent, and a gold helmet. That might actually be better than something I have equipped right now, so let's check on that. So let's see, I know I have some gold equipment. Yeah, I do already have gold helmets. Let's see, no helmet currently on Zenith, and bronze helmet on Natsmer, so the lower defense between these two is Zenith. So I'm going to switch out Zenith's, how does a bronze armor, actually, I have this unused punch rather here, so I'm going to switch this punch up for the gold helmet. That'll increase Zenith's defense to 11, which is better than it was before. And I'm going to heal while I'm here in the menu. 3 cures from Elodie, 1 for each of our non-robot characters. Zenith doing perfectly fine, so maybe I should be moving Zenith to the top of the party, taking some of those hits instead of Elodie. That would probably help my survival a bit. Something to keep in mind as an option. Alright, so we're now out of the intestines, into the stomach, and there is the 6th relic, but I see a passage up here, so even though my experience has been that there are no items here, I do see an excavation point. Is that for real? Okay, we're excavating inside Kai's body. I can't imagine what that feels like from her perspective. Alright, here's a treasure chest, and it contains an agility source. Fantastic. Okay, so those enemies looking pretty incompetent that they weren't able to catch me when I was entirely cornered like that. Let's open the menu and use that agility source. Who needs it more? Zenith or Natsmer? Not sure. Let's see, agility source here, 1 use of course, and oh, I guess I should actually check my stats since it's not going to tell me as I target that. The lower agility is Natsmer by 6 points, so the agility source will help her close the gap. Yeah, I guess we did decide to put the agility increasing crystal on Zenith, so Natsmer's been relying on sources to keep up. Fortunately, we found that one, and we got a speed crystal, so I guess both of them are going to be increasing their agility right here. And that's the 6th one. All that's left is inside her head. Okay, so let us return to Kai's head as I was doing before. Luckily, I spotted that stomach entrance passage. So all that's left is in the head, which is right up here. We now have 6 new relics, and where will they get us? Find out next time. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you then.